at what point did you go, okay, like, did you go, okay, well, should I publish this myself? Should I publish it with another comic book company? Like, did you think about taking it to other publishers?
Well, at the time, I was still on good terms with Eric at Image,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like, Brett Berner came on, and he was like, if I can get, because he wanted to like get into publishing comics because he liked the business model of guaranteed sales.
Yeah.
He came from the magazine world where they come back.
Yeah.
And you eat it.
Yeah.
Right? So Brett partnered with funders, and we created Alias. They would fund the books. I would produce the books, and then Brett would manage the production, publishing, and all that stuff. And at first, we went through Image,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we took, and then we started picking up other books like not Lullaby. Lullaby, I picked up Lullaby from Hector Sevilla. I actually, he didn't have a story. He just had artwork that he was like kind of making as he went along. And I'm like, well, why don't I actually write this into an actual story? And then I brought Ben Avery, the writer of The Hedge Knight, or the co-writer of Hedge Knight, or adapter. And so we worked on that together. And so Lullaby was one of the books, and then Imaginaries was another one of those I can still remember when I came up with the idea for that. I was in the parking lot. I think my dad was in the hospital in Portland, and I came up with the idea of what happens to your imaginary friends when you grow up and stop believing in them.
Oh wow. It's interesting because that was a Boom Studios book, right?
No.
Oh, because they did something very similar with that kind of premise behind it. So
really?
Yeah. You should.
Ross.
They did something very similar, and it has that kind of thing where it was this like imaginary friend kind of goes missing, and then like they have to kind of hunt him down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, what happens in mine is I have a character called Superhero G, and he ends up, his creator, Tanner, his parents are going through a divorce. And so when he realizes this, he decides it's time to give up on childish things. And one of the things he does is take a drawing of his creation, crumples it up, and throws it in the trash. And then, like a meteor landing on the ground, Superhero G lands in the Imagination, which is where they go. And realizes that it's become this fascistic realm because there's a character there who was also the creation of a child, but as a supervillain who was created to take over the world. And so when she got to the Imagination, that's what she did, right? And then Superhero G shows up, and he's a superhero, has to deal with this. But at the same time, he's trying to get back to the real world because his creator is in pain and needs him. And actually, that story was that was my most rewarding project because there was this kid at San Diego, like the year after it was published, and he comes up to me, and I'm just sitting there signing books and whatnot, and he's all, "Are you Mike Miller?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's all, "Did you write the Imaginaries?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, I wrote it. Ben Avery co-wrote it with me, but yeah, I came up with it." And he's like, "I'll be back." He came back the next day, couldn't talk, and handed me a card, like a Hallmark card that he had bought.
Oh.
And I open it up, and it is like tiny little, it's written out, this whole card of how much that story had meant to him, as a kid of divorce and all that kind of stuff. And I'm a kid of divorce too, and I mean, so
Me
many
too,
people are.
so,
Yeah. So that moment has been my most rewarding moment as a creator.
That's
in
beautiful.
my entire career. Yeah.
That's really it's something special. Is like you don't realize that like when you're making these stories that people actually read them and it affects their life in a positive way, and they take values from this and they can get over stuff because you never know what someone's going through and so it's really amazing that you're able to help people through a difficult time. I think that's one of the beauties in comic books is you're able to help people and actually connect with fans in that way.
That's why I want to keep doing it.
I love it. Even after 26 years, you want to keep going.
Yeah, but now it's like my creative juices are just like full tilt. I want to bring the entire Blacklist universe. So the Blacklist universe is my name for my universe of characters. That's a heroic universe. So, I mean, you can call them superheroes. That's fine. But what I've kind of done is I've taken all the things I've created over the last 25, even longer, 30 years. And I've picked out all the things that I thought would fit into this kind of universe. Even Superhero G. Whereas Superhero G is, takes place in some fictional world and whatnot. At the end of the spoilers, at the end of the story, he comes into the real world through a device that the Ice Queen has made, or actually she had her minions make, because she, after she had taken over this world, she knew about the real world and she wanted to take over the real world. So they brought the battle to the real world. Superhero G then comes into the real world, and I'm like, I'm gonna have Superhero G and Hero Boy stay in the real world as a part of the Blacklist universe, because it'd be like a cross between the Tick and Shazam. I mean, just this, except there's this kid, because the kid grants Superhero G powers through his belief in him, right? So
he needs him.
Yeah, so he needs the kid. Kid needs him.